Hey everybody, welcome to The Practical Place. My name is Ryan Holguin, and this channel is primarily for young professionals, those trying to make it in corporate America. And really my goal for this channel is to help those people that are just trying to learn skills, learn how corporate America works, and share anything that I've learned along the way in my 10-year career in corporate America. I really enjoy things like Excel tutorials or any tutorials in teaching. And so I do a lot of videos like this. And so in today's video, I'm going to be walking through 4 different types of ways you can use conditional formatting in Microsoft Excel. Now, these are really specific to how I've used them. And so I was just thinking of a lot of good best practices that I use in Excel on a regular basis or somewhat regular basis in my career that's helped me. And some of these might be pretty elementary to some of you guys, but I always like to not make assumptions about where everybody's at. And so feel free to apply these any way that you see fit in your career. So as you can see, I have 4 different tabs here. And what I'll do is I'll go one by one and sort of explain the use cases in which I'll use them, maybe talk about the rationale, and then kind of move on to the next one. And then again, you decide if you want to use it or not. And so as you can see in this first one here, I'm going to close this out. But as you can see, I'm going to discard that. This is our duplicates sheet. So basically there are a lot of projects. So I do a lot of project management work. I work in a lot of data. And so whenever I'm in spreadsheets, there's times where I'll get a lot of lists and then I need to aggregate a few lists into one master list. And so using the conditional formatting, highlighting duplicates is really helpful for me. So one way to do that, that I work on is I really highlight the cell here. So basically in this case, what I need to do is I think this one, yeah, it's only about 48 different rows, but imagine, I mean, I've worked in data sets that are millions of rows or hundreds of thousands of rows. And so you're not going to be able to go through everything and identify duplicates by the eye. I can sort this by, in alphabetical order, and I can quickly kind of look at where's the duplicate and if there's a duplicate or not. Like I see a few here. It looks like it starts to get duplicates here, but a quick way for me to do that is to highlight the entire column. Come over here to conditional formatting. There's this highlight cell rules. There's a lot of preset rules that they have or parameters that you could put in. And the very bottom value here, our option here is duplicate values. And this is the one I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep all the formatting the same. As you can see, I'm on the web-based version of Microsoft Excel because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for it. But as you can see here, you can change your formatting style however you want. I usually just leave it at the default because all I need to do is quickly identify the duplicate. And that's basically the point of conditional formatting. It's a visual way to quickly identify whatever criteria you're trying to get it to meet, right? And in this case, I want it to tell me, hey, highlight any of the cells where it's a repeated value and when it's duplicate. So I'm going to click done here. And as you can see, we're already getting some highlighted down here. So this entire area, so it's going to highlight everyone that has a match, whether it's just a pair or more than one or several duplicates. So you can see here, I've got a total of 24, right? So there should be 12 unique values because all of these are pairs, right? So another step I would typically take if I need to turn this into a master list is I'll highlight this, this entire section here and I'll come over to data. And there's a remove duplicates. Now that I know, and the reason I would use duplicate conditional formatting is because I can check, even if I wanted to, right, I could do this. I've made this into a table format. That's why I have my filters here. And I could sort this or filter by color and filter by my duplicates. And what that's going to do for me is quickly count here. So if it wasn't all organized and there's only not like 48 rows here, thousands of rows, I would have to figure out a way to organize it so that I could count them all. But here I could filter by the color. And now I see at the bottom, 24 of the 48 are duplicates. And so I already have a quick count of how many I know need to be removed. In this case, I just do the math. It's 12, right? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the filter. I'm going to highlight this entire section here. And then I'm going to click on remove duplicates. It's going to ask me, what do I want to remove? I'm going to unselect everything. And then I'm going to click on just the product name column. I selected that option and it told me 12 values were removed, 36 unique remain. So as you can see here, I still have my conditional formatting to duplicates. It's still on here. As you can go in here, you can go to manage rules and you can see that I've got this one here. But as you can see, there's no more duplicates. So that's one of the use cases I've used this conditional formatting of duplicate values. So maybe that's helpful for you. And moving on to the next one, we have data bars. This one's pretty simple. Really, this is a really quick one, but a way that I've used this before is a quick visual to see where everything. This is more if you want to compare side by side visually values. Where numbers stand as it relates to the entire data set. So in this case, I'm going to use it in the product age here, right? This is a list of products, new products that have launched. This tells me how old they are. And so I want to quickly visualize. I mean, I can sort it right in descending or ascending order, but if I'm just looking at it, or if I send this to somebody, a data bar will really stand out. And if it's the largest data bar, then that tells me it's the highest value, right? And so it's just a really quick visual way to see where everything is relative to the values next to it in that data set, right? And so I'm going to go to conditional formatting again. I'm going to go to the data bar section, and I'm just going to click the gradient fill one, this blue one. And so when I click on that here, actually, I'm not going to use blue because the table's blue. Go back over here. I'm going to click on this one. So as you can see, like I said, I can organize it here and sort it by largest to smallest. And the highest values are going to obviously have the largest bars and as you scroll down. But even that, right, it's just a really quick visual representation of where each product stands in terms of how old it is, right? The larger the bar, the association is it's older. The smaller the bar, the younger the product is, right? So again, it's just a really quick way. And again, imagine if you're in a data set, of hundreds of thousands of rows and you needed to quickly see that, right? If you're working with, like for me, if I'm working with, leadership, middle management, they don't have time to read through a spreadsheet, right? At that point, you'd probably move to a dashboard. But let's say you operate in a spreadsheet. And just a quick side note, that's sort of why I make these videos, is because there is theory, right? You can go to I have my PMP, but you can study for the PMP or whatever the course is. Go to school and they'll teach you things in theory, but sometimes in reality and practice, it doesn't always work that well, right? Puzzle pieces don't always just connect. You have to sort of work with what you have. So if you go into an organization, there's going to be a flow. There's going to be a system in place. Now you can certainly enhance it by moving them over to a dashboard, and that would be great. And I'd recommend that. But let's just say they work in a spreadsheet. You get there, they got a budget, and it's budgeting season, you need to help them. How do you quickly do that? And Excel's the way they do that. Well, this is an option, right? As an example, data bars is a quick way to visually help them see where values rank relative to the rest of the data set. So that's how I've used data bars in the past. The next one is going to be highlight rows. Now, this is going to be whenever you, again, have a list and you want to quickly identify. In this case, I'm going to use it for priority. So I want to see which products are high priority versus which ones are low. Now, I can read through it, but again, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of rows, or even just really saving time or saving effort having to read through things. That's what, life's all about sometimes, is how do you help your teams become more efficient? And this seems like not a huge deal, but when people have hundreds of things on their plate, if you can cut down a little bit of friction for them to make their lives a little bit easier, I think it's worth doing that. So in this case, I want to really flag anything that's high priority, right? And so I want to highlight the entire row anytime that it's this field is high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to conditional formatting, and I want to go to new rule because I want to create my own rule, my own formula. So what I'm going to do is it's going to tell me, what do I want this applied to? Well, I want to pick this entire data set here, this entire table. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm just going to select it all. Scroll back up. All right, so you can see that this is going to apply here. Great. I'm going to lock that in. Now, what I want to do is I want to click on this formula button here. Now my formula is going to be whenever this cell, and I'm actually going to not turn this into an absolute value. It's a relative value, meaning whenever you have those dollar signs, an absolute value, you put the dollar sign in, meaning I want it to stay fixed on this cell. So if I copy this conditional formatting to another cell and I want it to apply to that row, it's still going to go back to that initial cell that you built the formula off of, you based it off of. But when it's a relative reference and you don't have the, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me, the F, the F is the column, the 2 is the row, right? So whenever I remove the dollar sign, the 2 now is the row, so the row is going to be relative. So it's only going to be relative to the priority F column to that row. So whenever I'm looking at row 3, it's going to look at cell F3, F4, so forth and so on. If I had the dollar sign in there, it would be fixed to F2. So everything would highlight based on whatever F2 says. And I don't want that, right? Because it's going to apply to everything in A2 through F49. So that's just a quick tidbit on relative, absolute references, things like that. So if it's high priority, let's just go ahead and go with this green here. So I need to finish my formula here. So whenever F2 equals, and you got to put, anytime you want to copy a text or you want it to read a text, you have to put the quotations there. So anytime F2, or really the cell in the F column, is high, I want it to highlight this entire row, this formatting here. And the reason it's going to do that is because it's going to apply to whatever's relative in that data set. That's why you select the entire table there. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. If not, rewind this and watch it back. So I'm going to click done. Let's see if this works. Done. And as you can see, it quickly highlighted all of the highs here. If I wanted to just double check this, I'm going to sort this in alphabetical order, and all the highs and the in the rows, the corresponding rows with the high priority product is high. So that is a easy way to use conditional formatting to highlight cells based on, that was a specific formula. Now you can do it based on whatever cell and whatever criteria you want, but I'm really hopefully trying to communicate for you how to do it, but also the idea or the rationale or the methodology behind why you would do that, right? You can apply this to your own. You're going to have your own criteria. I'm not going to be able to think of all the situations. Again, I'm just going off of use cases and scenarios that I've used it. So that's another option. So the last one, this should say date range. Let me change the name of this real quick. Date range, and I've already got the launch date field highlighted. So in this case, a way that I would use conditional formatting is to highlight a cell and let's say my manager reached out to me and said, hey, I need you, Ryan, to give me a list of every product that was in the year 2025, right? Launched in the year 2025. Just a really quick way that I would start that process or look through it would be maybe conditional formatting. Or if I wanted to start adding that to my new list, because I know that they're going to be looking for things like that, this is what I would do. So I'd highlight the entire date column here, go to conditional formatting again, and I'm going to go to the highlight cell rules and go to one of these preset options here, and I want to do the between one. So anything between, I'm going to go 1/1/25 and December 31st, 25. And I'm going to leave it at this format here. So it's going to apply only to the D column. So as you can see here, everything that's in 2025 has been highlighted. Now, if I assorted this in oldest to newest, again, you're going to see the middle, that's going to be all red. So there you go. As you can see, there it is. And then if I wanted to just filter by just that, I've already put in my conditional formatting. I can filter by color. And I know that my color is 2025, so I'm going to filter there. And then I can say, yep, hey, manager, we had 15 products that launched in 2025, and I can take a snippet or have them look at the filter like this and check out the products that we launched in 2025. So that is another way that you can use conditional formatting if you work with dates or things like that, or really any range, right? If it's a dollar amount, think of a sales value, hey, and you want to group customers, right, by like low revenue customers, middle revenue customers, high revenue. You can do percentiles, things like that. So it's really powerful. Again, if you know how you want to do it. In my last video, I talked about AI, leveraging ChatGPT and Excel formulas. And so, you could leverage that as well. And I guess in there, what I was going to say is in there, I talk about there's a lot of different use cases and how I use it, but it's going to be different for you, right? Everybody has their own specific domain. Everybody has their own discipline that they're in and different uses. And so hopefully these are just one example of how you could use these conditional formatting options in your work. Let me know in the comments below if you think I missed anything or wasn't clear on something. I'd be happy to clarify anything that I might have missed. I don't want to make any assumptions, but if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe here to The Practical Place. I'm almost up to 450 subscribers, so I appreciate everybody for following me for this over 2-year journey. I really enjoy making these videos and I enjoy trying to help others. So I appreciate everybody for subscribing. Until next time, I'll see you guys